Welcome into the Slobberknocker Sports Podcast, episode 95. We're back. We haven't been all that consistent lately, but we're switching things up around here. We're going to start shooting shows now on Wednesdays.
Right.
Try to get them out by Thursday. And instead of doing our typical good, bad, and the ugly and winners and losers of the previous week where we recap everything, we're going to try and give you guys more up-to-date content. So we're going to go with some NFL previews. We'll still talk about the big storylines of the week, kind of what's going on middle of the week and heading into the weekend as we preview all that good stuff. And then don't forget, like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Leave us a comment below, and then check out our college football show. We won't do any previews of college football on here, but we do have our own individual college football show, so check that out. We have our best bets on there, been doing very well. And so check out all of our content here on the Slobberknocker Sports Network. But let's jump in. Before I do anything, we have to jump to the most important thing. Just have to mention it.
Oh, boy.
The Indiana Fever.
Are they still in?
The Indiana Fever.
I was just, when you mentioned that, I was like, I knew it was going to be WNBA related, but I was like, and I know they won the first series in 3, correct?
So it's best of 3.
Like you said, I gave you credit. You said the best 2 words in women's sports, game 3, which is pretty fucking funny.
That should be a t-shirt.
Put that on the t-shirts.
It's a good t-shirt.
Yeah,
that's going to be one of our, if we ever get merch, that's one of our items for sure.
Right.
But no, yeah, so they win game 3 basically they scored with like 7 seconds to go and then got a stop. And
was Cocaine Bear balling?
Cocaine Bear had 34, I think, or something.
What a player. She's the best player on, listen.
She might be the best player in the league right now.
She's certainly the best player in the Fever.
Okay. Well, right now she is because Caitlin Clark's not playing.
No, far better than Caitlin Clark. Cocaine Bear.
Last year she wasn't. This year she is. But anyway, not only did they win the first series, they go into Las Vegas game 1 and take down the Las Vegas Aces, who had won, I believe, 17 of their last 18
lost
games.
Game 2.
They lost game 2.
So 1-1.
They're 1-1, but it's a best of 5 in the semifinals. So game 3 in Indiana tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon. Big game.
I can't wait. I've been losing sleep waiting for this game. I mean, I had no idea they were still in, but now that I know they're in, game 3, I am ready to go.
And we had a big upset on the other side, too. The Phoenix Mercury won game 2 in overtime against the Minnesota Lynx. So we got 2 series tied 1-1.
You know what's funny about that one? This is going to shock people. Is that my local watering hole, Salvador Dobbs, and I'm in there, and in the corner of my eye, the only thing on TV that night, it was like a Tuesday. It was probably Tuesday.
It was Tuesday.
It's the Lynx are playing the Mercury, and the Lynx are up like 20 points.
They're up 20.
Okay. So the Phoenix Mercury came back and won it.
They came back, hit a 3 at the buzzer.
And they're doing it without Joanna Mann because Brittany Griner no longer plays for them. Is that correct?
She's on the Atlanta Dream, who the Indiana Fever took out in round 1.
Nice. Joanna Mann.
And don't worry, we will next week have a WNBA or not. We have it ready to go. But
we would have been ready to go, but our producer Bailey decided he had more important things to do. I don't know where he is. I bought Bailey, of course, shout out Voodoo Ranger, the official beer of this podcast. We've given up on Miller Lite. Too big of a company. Maybe Voodoo Ranger will.
We're going to try.
We're going to try to get Voodoo Ranger, who
I think
bad decisions are made drinking Voodoo Ranger.
I think I figured out why he's not here. I was alerted by my father that apparently I forgot to pay Bailey last week. So the last podcast, which was 2 weeks ago, so the $20 that he didn't get, maybe that's why he's boycotting.
I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Bailey's a more stand-up man, and I think he's running drugs somewhere. But
that's more likely. But anyway.
I mean, the man is from Memphis.
That's a good point. He was running the streets of Memphis since he was 7 years old.
He loves the light skin rappers. The light skin women rappers. I should say women. You never know. Just get that out there. He loves the light skin rappers, and he's from Memphis.
Yeah,
so technically Arkansas across the bridge, which is almost as bad. And yeah, he could be running drugs. We don't really know what he's up to. Hopefully he'll be back soon, but I brought him Voodoo Rangers. It didn't show, and I'm disgusted. So
he's from the streets of Memphis through and through. Okay, real quick, before we get into some NFL talk, I do have a Brookie of the Week.
Oh, I do too.
Oh, perfect. We got 2 Brookies of the Week. Look at us prepared here.
Yep.
And so my Brookie of the Week is going to go to a guy by the name of Trinidad Chambliss. So this kid is a senior quarterback for Ole Miss. He played his first 3 seasons at a Division II school called Ferris State University.
Yep.
His junior season last year in 2024, he threw for 2,900 yards, ran for 1,000, had 26 passing touchdowns, 25 rushing touchdowns. He was the Conference Player of the Year, finished third in the Division II Heisman voting, called the Harlan Hill Award, which Zach Zabransky won at Central Missouri. Regardless, he started the season this year. Oh, and he won a national championship. Ferris State won the national championship at Division II. Led them to a national title. Transfers to Ole Miss. He's the backup to a kid named Austin Simmons. Austin Simmons was the backup as a true freshman last year for Ole Miss. Came in, played really good in a game when Jackson Dart went down, and so everybody thought Simmons was the guy. Well, Simmons goes down in the Arkansas game, and in steps this kid, Trinidad Chambliss, and boy, did he ball out. He went, in that Arkansas game, coming in the second quarter, he threw for 353 yards, ran for 62, 3 total touchdowns, coming in cold off the bench. He followed that up, throwing for 307, rushing for 112, and 2 total touchdowns against Tulane in an absolute rout of the Green Wave. And in those 2 games, Ole Miss has averaged 43 points per game, over 500 yards of total offense, and his QB, a 90 QBR. And not only was he phenomenal in those 2 games, he has taken the starting job because Austin Simmons is available this week.
Did they announce that?
They did.
Okay.
And Austin Simmons is available. They said he's rehabbing. He will be available this week, but Trinidad Chambliss is going to start. If you've watched Ole Miss play the last 2 weeks, that offense is absolutely humming. He's leading a top 10 collegiate offense, and what a cool story this would be, because here's the thing, and this might be wild, and it's very unlikely even still, but look, right now we have a guy named Fernando Mendoza as the favorite to win the Heisman. It's the most wide open I've seen the Heisman race in a long time. And you have a kid from a Division II school who never played a snap of Division I football. And now, if he continues on this path, and he is as good as he's shown the last 2 weeks against 2 very solid defenses, or at least an SEC defense and a solid lower level defense, he could get his name in the Heisman conversation. If he keeps playing well and Ole Miss is winning football games, you might hear that kid's name in the Heisman conversation. Yeah, he go from
backup to winning the Heisman.
From Division II quarterback to backup to starting quarterback to
Well, dude,
Heisman.
And not Division II. It was FCS, obviously, Incarnate Word. But, Cam Ward went from there. Washington State, Miami was first overall pick. Titans don't look great right now. My Rookie of the Week, far more importantly, Shaun Alexander, ex-NFL running back.
What did he do?
Expecting his 14th kid. I believe he's in the lead over Cromartie now. I think he's clubhouse leader. McGahee's at like 12 or 13. These guys are going to shoot it out, I think, for the, no pun intended, shoot it out for the next 5 to 6 years, probably. They may go well into their 50s, depending on how many women are around. But Shaun Alexander, expecting number 14. And I do know that Cromartie was snipped. That's one of the greatest stories of all time. He gets snipped after like 12. His fiance or wife, whatever, gets pregnant. He calls her a cheater, blah, blah, blah. They go to the doctor. He's so potent, he knocked her up with twins after getting a vasectomy. No idea how that works. I'm no doctor. I am no doctor, miracle. But they were definitely his kids. But anyway, shout out Shaun Alexander. I haven't heard or thought about him since he was on the cover of Madden, probably in 2007. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say 2005.
14
maybe.
Kids. But I'll tell you this, I don't know if that's with the same woman. If it is, that's impressive. I was going to ask
you that.
Like Rivers, type in Phillip Rivers over there. You type pretty
9,
quick.
I think.
He's got 9. Okay.
I believe.
Because I believe Phillip just had a young buck, and his son is about to go to college. The oldest is about to go to college and play college football. So
10 kids.
Good for Phillip.
Yeah,
he's getting it on.
That's
man.
he's
a man of the people.
I still think the leader in the clubhouse, odds wise, to surpass all of them is Anthony Edwards, but that's a long ways to go. Yeah,
double.
Anthony's only 22 and he's at like 7. So
I genuinely think when the dust is settled, I think Tyreek Hill clips them all.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like that.
I think he's already got 7 with so many different women. I think you'll see at least 2 to 3 more kiddos on the way this year, and I just don't know how you financially do. It's like 80% of his checks going to kids.
I'd love to see some odds on this from Bovada, DraftKings. Come on, guys. Can we get some odds out there? FanDuel, whatever. Can we get some odds on most kids by the age of 50 It can be a multi-year long bet, decade-long bet. You lock your money up, but I would love to see some odds on that, even if they're theoretical.
Yeah, I think Tyreek Hill's going to ultimately take the cake.
It's a good bet.
But shout out Shaun Alexander. Like I said, I didn't do enough research to see if it was with one woman, although I did see a big picture with a bunch of kids, and it might be like, 2 women early on and then like 12 with one. You know what I mean? And by God, 12 kids. God bless her heart. That's a lot of children.
14 children is, quite an impressive feat there.
Yeah, Brookie of the Week. Shout out Shaun.
Different
dog.
Different type of brookie. But he is a dog. He is raw dogging that thing. All right, let's go to the NFL. All right, so we're going to do a segment here as we kind of move into week 4. So we're 3 weeks into the NFL season.
We are.
Give you a trivia question here to start us off.
Please do.
We got 6 teams. Without looking at your computer, we have 6 teams. Yeah. No, I know. NFL teams who are undefeated, perfect 3-0 right now. 3 from the AFC, 3 from the NFC. Can you name all 6 teams?
That are undefeated? Okay, so we got the Bills.
Yep.
We have the... Boom, boom, boom. Let's see. AFC, the Chargers.
We have one more in the AFC. Unlikely team.
The Steelers haven't lost, have they?
Yeah, they have. They lost.
Oh, they lost
week
one?
2.
Okay, sorry. Lost week 2. Unlikely AFC. The Jags? They lost 2.
Come on, the Colts.
Oh, the Colts, of course. Danny Dimes and the boys, of course.
That's your guy. All right, 3 in the NFC. 3 in the NFC.
I've been drinking. This is hard.
All 3 went to the playoffs last year.
All 3 went to the playoffs last year. Okay, so we have
one super easy.
The Eagles.
The Eagles.
Yeah, okay. So then we have the Eagles. We have the... Let me move out west. The Rams.
In the right area.
Yeah, the Rams just lost, so it's not them. How about the San Francisco 49ers?
San Francisco 49ers
with
and Mac Jones starting 2 of those games.
Mac Jones.
We got one more, and this team is the first team in NFL history to go 3-0 and win on a game-winning drive the last all 3 of the first 3 games.
Oh, God.
It hits close to home for Will.
Close to home for Will.
Think about who would have led the drive.
No, I know.
Come on, you really have been
Baker
drinking.
Mayfield.
There you go. Yeah,
all those games have been fun, and Baker's dude. The weirdest, and obviously everybody saw it who watched the NFL. But when he slid and then grabbed his leg, I was like, "Oh God, he's hurt."
Tore his ACL.
Someone's talking shit. He popped up like fucking Undertaker and just started talking shit back, and I was like, "Oh my God, like what happened?" So he's got to be kind of dinged up, I would think. But anyway, yeah.
I'll give it to him. He's been balling. How the Texans blew that game. 4th and 10, had him in their grasp. Easy sack, missed him. Bucks go down and win the game.
It's a drive before where they get down to the 1-yard line and try to throw it 3 times like they're Jason Garrett and the Tony Romo Cowboys 10 years ago. But
pretty bad.
Yeah, bad news.
So on the topic of these teams that are 3-0, we're going to go through some of these 3-0 teams, and we're going to play Contender or Pretender and talk through a few of them real quick.
Okay.
And let's start with...
Oh,
bless you. Let's start with one of the teams that is 3-0 in the AFC. We're going to go to Jim Harbaugh's Los Angeles Chargers. They're 3-0. They have beat the Chiefs, Broncos, and Raiders, which is the weirdest thing ever. They've played 3 divisional games the first 3 weeks, and they're a perfect 3-0. Two pretty impressive wins. I don't know if you watched the Denver game last week, but
I didn't watch much of it, but yeah.
But they were down 7 in the 4th, had to have a touchdown with like 8 minutes to go. Herbert was making plays down the field. They score, had to have a stop, got to stop, get down, get in field goal range, win the game on a walk-off field goal, and the Chargers go 3-0. Contender or Pretender?
Oh, they're absolutely a contender. I think they at this point, 2nd Super Bowl favorite in the AFC behind the Bills.
Yep.
And I think that the issue becomes is, say they somehow lose 2 or 3 games and they host that game at home, it's going to be nothing but Bills fans. So they have 0 home field advantage. A lot of people credit this turnaround, and we're a sports show, but you got to talk about your pop culture. Madison Beer dating Justin Herbert,
and look how he's playing.
He's playing good. I mean, she's looking good. He's playing good.
Justin Herbert haters have quieted up a large amount the first 3 weeks.
Justin Herbert, people that know football, Justin Herbert's always been very good.
He might have the best arm in football. It's unbelievable.
He's very, very good. It's just all about the way that team, has played over the years. Harbaugh usually likes just handing off the ball and winning games with his defense, and but Herbert's playing outstanding. The Chargers are a really good team. I think they're the second best team in the AFC behind the Bills.
Yeah, I would agree. I actually think,
and if they put it on a neutral field, I don't know the Chargers would. The Bills would probably be favored.
Yeah.
I would think the Chargers would actually probably win the game if you're just playing.
Chargers have the better defense.
If you're playing 2020, whatever, COVID, nobody in the stadium, I think the Chargers probably win the game.
Yep.
But I think ultimately you're going to see the Bills with a better record because their division's so bad, right? And I don't see the Chargers going on the road and beating Buffalo. Maybe they do. But
I don't think so. I don't think they can either. I think that's a tough place to play. But, man, if the Bills don't get it done this year, they may never get it done. At least get to a Super Bowl, right?
To the Super Bowl,
I mean, the Chiefs look god-awful. Even if they get Worthy and Rice back, they just don't look like the same on either side of the ball. Mahomes doesn't look as good. Regardless, quick question, and we'll move on to the next team. Is Jim Harbaugh officially a top 3 coach in the NFL? I mean, this is every year of just in football, really. I mean, every year he just wins wherever he goes.
In football in general, sure.
He wins wherever he goes.
I think Andy Reid's the best coach in football. I think you make an argument that Harbaugh's, obviously Mike Tomlin, who never has a losing season.
Well, he will this year.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely will.
Absolutely will not.
They start 2-1, they'll still have a losing season. They very easily could be 0-3.
Yeah, but no. He's
probably should be 0-3.
Yeah, he's for sure top 5, probably top 3. Yeah, I would agree.
He's incredible. Okay, we'll go on to the second one. Interesting one here. Let's go to the Indianapolis Colts.
Right.
So Indianapolis, not to take anything away from them, they're 3-0. When they were 2-0, I said, maybe this is like the Saints last year where they lit the world on fire the first 2 weeks and all anybody was talking about was Derek Carr and the Saints, and a year later they went 3-14 and Derek Carr retires and they fire their coach, right? So, and it's still very early. That said, they are a perfect 3-0, and I get it. Danny Dimes is playing great. He's thrown for 816 yards, 72% completion, 3 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns, and 0 turnovers, which is very rare. He actually has a decent offensive line for the first time in a long time. He actually has some receivers to throw to. He's got a running back. He's got a decent defense. But you look at it, and they beat the Dolphins week 1, who look atrocious. They beat the Titans in week 3, who look like the worst team in football.
Correct. Yep.
And week 2, they really lost. If you don't remember the game,
missed
a field goal from 61 yards, or 60 yards, and then a garbage penalty that's very rarely called is thrown as a 15-yarder. They get 1 extra kick from 46 or 45 as the game with 0 seconds on the clock. Make it, time expires. So they're 3-0. Very well could be 2-1. Pretender or contender?
Pretender in the sense that they'll still probably win that division.
You think they'll win the division?
Yeah, I
mean, Texans are 0-3.
Yeah, that's a problem. The Texans on paper are a better team, and the offensive line still needs work. Stroud does not look good. I get it. I get all those.
Awful.
I get all those things. I would say that I think they could win the division because they're spotting. They got 3-game lead.
Jags are 2-1, but I don't trust the Jags. I would take the Colts over the Jags.
Yeah, they're about really probably the same on paper. They have a game lead.
Better coaching staff for the Colts, in my opinion. I like Shane Steichen.
Because Doug Peterson's gone from the Jags. So of course, if Doug Peterson was there, complete Super Bowl winning coach and author,
yes,
as Big Dog would say,
and author,
a genius.
Yeah.
But
they can win the division, but no chance to win the Super Bowl.
Correct. Yeah. I think everybody would agree with that. I don't think
and I think each of these is individualized. Like, obviously, we don't think the Colts are going to be a Super Bowl contender, but you do think they could make the playoffs. Okay, here's another one. We're going to go to the Eagles, 3-0. Obviously, the answer is contender, so we're not really asking that. But I guess my question with the Eagles, and when we're talking contender or pretender, is, look, this Eagles team is very good. They lost a lot on defense last year.
Right.
When you look at this team, and what they've done so far this season, and I know this is the NFL, right? It comes down to the fourth quarter, but realistically, they could be 0-3. They're 3 plays away from being 0-3. They probably should be 1-2 if we're being honest. They should have never won that game against the Rams, even if you take out the entire collapse by Los Angeles and having to settle for 6 field goals and all of that. I mean, 99% of the time, that 40-yard kick goes in for the win right there, right? Or 90% of the time, right? They should have lost that game. If CeeDee Lamb doesn't drop that ball or drop 3 balls, right? If he catches any of those balls, the Cowboys probably beat them week 1, and the Cowboys look awful. So I guess my question to you is is there concern if you're an Eagles fan in terms of like, yeah, they're 3-0, but they haven't looked that good. They had a good come from behind win late. Their offense looked better, but I don't know. I just don't think they look nearly as good. Now, we see this with the Chiefs the last couple years, right? It feels like the Chiefs last year. They won the year before. They won the 2 years before. They come out. They're kind of sleepwalking. They find ways to win late, but it doesn't seem to be a recipe for success in the long run when you continuously do that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think you hit the nail on the head. It's a lot like the Chiefs last year. You win the Super Bowl, you come out, you have the heart of the check. You find a way to win these games. It's not good. It's a little bit of a Super Bowl a hangover, but they're finding a way to win games. I think ultimately, when you look at the NFC, I really do think it's going to come down to, I just don't trust. I know the Niners have played nobody, whatever. They've been winning games. I think it's going to come down to Philly and Green Bay.
Okay.
And when they play, I think Green Bay has a better defense on paper now with Micah Parsons. Is Jordan Love going to hold up, or is it going to be the tush push and Hurts, who's been there before? I think it's going to be the tush push and Hurts. I still think the
Lions are contenders in that.
Absolutely. I think they are too. Ultimately, I think you see the Eagles, if Jalen Carter's not spending on people, and clogging up, stopping the run in the middle, I think that they just find a way to get there. I could be completely wrong. I think you're going to see an Eagles and either Bills or Chargers Super Bowl. And I'll say Eagles Bills, just because I don't think we talk about that Charger schedule. It's tough when you got to play. The Chargers twice. You got to play the Broncos twice. You do luckily get the Raiders twice, but they play a tough schedule. But I do think the Eagles I will say they go back to the Super Bowl. I know you're going to disagree with that, but when you look at the NFC, like I said, I love Baker and the Bucks. That's who I cheer for. And Baker's one of those guys that's hilarious because you used to hate him, but you can't help but just appreciate the sense that it's like, look, the guy was a number 1 overall pick, got run out of Cleveland, was an emergency quarterback for the Rams, comes in, and now he's 3-0 with the Bucks, and it's like,
no, he's been
got
great.
His swagger. He's been great. He's been playing great football for this year and last year. So, can the Buccaneers win the Super Bowl? No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think they can win 12 games.
Sure.
I just don't think they win the Super Bowl. I think it's going to come ultimately. I just don't think the Commanders are there yet. It's only been 3 games.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out.
We'll see how it plays out. But I really think it's Eagles, Commanders, or Packers ultimately that can come out to the Super Bowl. I get what you're saying with the Lions, and they're healthier on the defensive side of the ball. Hutchinson, they did lose a lot on that offensive line, though, man. Lost an all-pro center, lost, I think, a guard as well. So, I don't know. I'm backing the Eagles to get there again.
Okay, I'll just say this. Beginning of the season, I faded the Eagles by betting on 3 teams to win the NFC that weren't the Eagles.
Right?
But I did that before the Packers made the trade for Micah Parsons. I still don't believe in the Packers because I don't believe in Jordan Love.
Right.
I've said that from the jump. He lost them the game by himself against Cleveland last week, up 10-0 in the fourth quarter. The interception in the fourth quarter, up 10-3 against a Browns team that hadn't moved the ball the entire game. It's 3rd and 3. You throw the ball away and punt, the game is over. And he throws an interception, they return it to the 5-yard line, and that's the only way they could have possibly lost. I just don't believe in him. I never have, and I never will until he proves me otherwise. But I took the Lions, and I still think the Lions have a legit shot.
Agreed.
I took the Commanders, although I do agree with you. I don't think they're there yet. I think they could get there, but I'm not sure. I felt better about them before the season. Not that they don't look good, but they just don't look like a Super Bowl contender yet. And then I took the Niners, and I do think the Niners' entirety of their roster, the fact that they won 2 games with Mac Jones regardless of who it was against, is kind of impressive. It speaks to the level of play at the rest of the positions on their roster because Mac Jones can't win anywhere, and he's 2-0 as a starter in San Francisco. So with Purdy gets healthy, if they hang on for a couple more weeks without him, Purdy gets healthy, I think the Niners are contenders as well. Okay, we're going to move on.
And also my dark horse that I got laughed out of the building, I think it's genuinely odds coming in the NFC. I think it's Eagles, Packers, Rams. I think the Rams are fucking good.
Okay, to be fair, I didn't even think about them. I didn't at the beginning of the year. I didn't. I still think I just don't know that I trust Stafford's health over the course of an entire year.
Depends how healthy he is.
But if he is healthy, I love Matthew Stafford more than anybody, and I think that Rams defense is awesome.
They're good, yeah.
Puka's maybe the best receiver in football right now.
And then you got Devontae Adams there. I mean, I just think that team.
Love that team. Should be 3-0.
If they make it to the playoffs, they could beat anybody in the NFC in the playoffs.
And should be 3-0. And they also, I will say, tend to match up well with the Eagles. Should have beat them last year in the wild card round. Right. Had them beat this time. I mean, I think they match up well with the Eagles.
It's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row.
That's right. That's why they lost. It's setting up perfectly.
Right.
Okay, we're going to do a couple quick more segments. Okay, and then we'll preview some games. We'll get into some other sports. We got to talk some Ryder Cup, some MLB. We got a lot of stuff to get into here. We'll try to speed through this. Okay, we're going to go to one called the panic meter. All right, so you're going to give me a panic meter 1 through 10. 10 being we're panicking that we need to fire the coach and reboot and start over.
Right.
1 being there's no panic. It's just a slow start to the season. Okay, we're going to look at teams that are 1 and 2 or worse. All right, we're going to start with the Baltimore Ravens. Okay, Baltimore Ravens start week 1 against the Buffalo Bills. They are up double digits the entirety of the game, up double digits in the fourth quarter. I believe 15 in the fourth quarter, and choked the game away. End up losing on a game-winning field goal behind a Derrick Henry fumble late that really cost them, and then a questionable decision by John Harbaugh to punt the ball in 4th and 3. We got into that on a previous podcast. Regardless, they blow that game. Should have won it. Should have been 1-0. They lose to Buffalo. Bounce back, absolutely dominate the Cleveland Browns, who are horrible. Come back last week, 4.5-point favorite on Sunday Night Football. Every single person on Sunday Night Football, or was it Monday night? I can't remember. It was Monday night. Everybody
knew they were going to lose at that point.
Yeah, every single person on Monday Night Football in a game with 2 good teams, and the line was 4.5, took the Baltimore Ravens because of how good Lamar is against NFC competition, and the Lions were the far better team. Like, I don't even think the fact that it was 21-21 going into the fourth was actually surprising to me because I thought the Lions were far better for the entirety of the game.
Right. I think we've learned, and I know you're getting at panic meter. I think we learned that the Ravens' defense is not near as good as people thought it was going to be. I mean, the Lions were running the ball for 10 yards a pop and blowing them off the ball. They did that for the whole second half. The panic meter, honestly, on a 1 to 10, I know this is going to sound funny, is a 1. And the simple fact that, do I think they're going to win the Super Bowl? No. But Joe Burrow's hurt, and they're going to win that division ultimately.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the Steelers are going to hold. They're better than the Steelers. The Browns obviously aren't winning the division.
Depends when Burrow comes back and
they say Burrow ain't going to. They claim that he could come back by like week 14 or 15.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that bad.
Yeah, they say it's like a full 3 months. That's what they say.
Then they will win the division.
I think they're dead in the water. I think the Ravens win the division. I don't think they'll win the Super Bowl. I don't think they'll get into the AFC. But it just comes down to that defense not being near as. Coming into the year, a lot of people thought that was going to be the best defense in football. I mean, the Lions just blew them off the ball. Yeah. Right? Montgomery, Gibbs, I mean, they're running the ball all over them.
Look what the Bills did to them week 1. It's the same thing. I mean, they just got lit up by so when you look at the best offenses in the league, they manhandled the Ravens defense. And here's the key that I'll mention as we move on from the Ravens. The defensive coordinator 2 years ago, Mike McDonald, now the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. Right. Look how much improved Seattle is year 1 to 2.
Yep.
He's a really, really good defensive mind. He's a good head coach. He was an incredible defensive coordinator. They went to Zach Orr, and if you forget how that happened, Baltimore had like 6 dudes or 7 dudes that they went to be the new defensive coordinator who left for other positions after that.
Yep.
And they're like Zach Orr was their last choice. And he's been there for 2 seasons now, and people are calling for his job because he clearly is incompetent. He does not know what he's doing. I mean, it's just there's way too much talent on that side of the ball for the Ravens for them to be that bad defensively. I mean, it's pathetic to give up that many points and it's not like the Lions were lighting the world on fire. The first week, Green Bay shut them down. They didn't score an offensive touchdown until 1 minute to go in the game, right? So it's not the offenses they're playing; it's your defense. Okay, all right. So what did you say for panic meter on that one?
Like a 1. I mean, I just don't. Yeah, very low. Gotcha. I mean, I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl, but I think they're going to safely win the division.
And by the way, the last 3 seasons under Jim Harbaugh in the month of September, the Ravens 5-5. So this is traditionally what happens. Baltimore starts slow, right, and then they end up being just fine. Okay, number 2, panic meter. We're going to go to the Dallas Cowboys. They're 1-2. Obviously, this wasn't a team like the Ravens who was a Super Bowl favorite or a team that anyone really expected to be a contender. I think their win total was 7.5. That said, this is a team that people talk about a lot. Obviously, I'm a Cowboys fan.
Big Dog makes us talk about them.
We have to talk about the Cowboys.
We got to talk about the Cowboys.
That's right. So, what's the panic meter? I guess I mean, because not that anyone expected. I mean, sure, there was delusional Cowboy fans who thought, but not that most rational fans thought they could win a Super Bowl. But I think we thought maybe we'd see a better team than last year because that team didn't have Dak most of the year. You got Deron Bland healthy. You got Trayvon Diggs healthy. You got a lot of these pieces back. You added George Pickens. You fire Mike McCarthy, and yet they look incompetent on the field the first 3 games, and they're lucky, honestly, to be 1-2. Probably should have lost to the Giants week 2.
Oh, yeah.
Panic meter for the entirety of the organization moving forward is what I'm asking for this
10.
one. 10.
It's horrible.
It's horrible.
They let their best player walk out the door. Lamb's going to be gone. I think they say 4 weeks, knowing CeeDee Lamb, it's going to be 8. I mean, it's going to be a clusterfuck. They should just try to lose everything. Dak should sit out, just get the first overall pick. I mean, there's no winning. They're losing the Packers. They might beat the Jets. They get to play the Panthers, luckily for them. Losing the Commanders, losing the Broncos. Yeah, I mean, they'll win
4 or 5 games.
I think they'll win 5 games. Yeah.
They're a dumpster fire. But I
just don't understand Schottenheimer as a hire. Makes 0 sense. Except maybe Jerry just wants to keep his claws and things. I don't know.
The only thing I can think of is legitimately if Jerry thought, and he's not this smart, he thought this year's a wash. I overpaid Dak. I'm not going to pay Micah. He knew the whole time I'm not going to pay Micah. We're not going to be a contender this year. I'm going to hire a placeholder coach, save some money because he's frugal despite the fact that they're worth $10.5 billion. And then we'll fire him after 1 season when it goes terribly wrong. We'll hire somebody else. We'll restructure. We'll build around, and we'll get some high draft picks and build around some younger guys. If he does that, that's the only way to save this because the way this is going, paying Dak the money, paying CeeDee the money, letting Micah walk, right? Paying Deron Bland, he's just an interception touchdown king. He's not actually very good in coverage, and you paid him $25 million a year. Like, he's paying the wrong dudes. He's hiring guys who are incompetent. The defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus, who got fired from Chicago last year, is running the worst defense that I've ever seen. This is the worst 3 weeks of defense I've ever seen from a team. Russell Wilson.
Eberflus is the man, please.
Would you agree, though? Like, this has to be a top 5 worst stretch of defensive football. You had Russell Wilson, who got benched the ensuing week because he was so bad against the Chiefs, throw for 450 yards against that defense. Caleb Williams, who people were calling for to be benched after week 2, threw for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns. I mean, I honestly just thinking about who they have played. I mean, Jalen Hurts doesn't throw the ball, and he lit them up in the first half. This is the worst, top 5 worst defense I've seen the start of football in a long, long time.
Yeah, they're real bad.
Okay, we'll go 2 more quickly. Number 3, the Denver Broncos. 2 heartbreaking losses, 1-2. They lost on 2 walk-off field goals. Like we mentioned how they lost to the Colts and how they lost to the Chargers. They're 1-2 now. This was a team that made the playoffs last year. There was a lot of optimism surrounding Bo Nix. He has been atrocious through the first 2 weeks. He was the lowest graded quarterback according to PFF. Got a little bit better week 3. But what's the panic meter in Denver, who does have a good defense? The young quarterback, Sean Payton's still there. Is this time to panic or no?
I would put it in the middle at a 5. I just don't think Bo Nix looks very good. I will say this. I mean, I think the defense is very, very good. You get to play the Bengals this week. They'll win that. They'll probably lose at the Eagles, but then they go Jets, Giants, Cowboys, Texans, Raiders. Okay, yep. So it's like they're going to go 3-1 or 4-0 during that stretch, you would think. The only issue is in that division, you have the Chiefs and the Chargers, right? So it's just tough to be even second in that division, especially with the way the Chargers played. But I think ultimately, it's middle of the road. It's a 5. I think Denver does make the playoffs. Okay. I will say they make the playoffs. It's one of the either like the 6 or the 7 seed. But they'll get in.
The extra seed helps them.
The defense is just too good. It doesn't even matter what the offense does.
Only thing for them is that they have the Chargers and Chiefs twice, and they've only played one of them. So that is tough. Yeah. But Raiders seem to be pretty down.
I do think they can beat the Chiefs this year. I mean, I think they can split that.
Yeah,
it's split that series.
For sure. By the way, just side note, I watched the Raiders play the first 2 weeks. The Raiders are legitimately, they might be the worst offensive line in football.
They're horrible.
Horrific. Geno can't.
That's like when my brother Trey has drafted like Genty in every single league. I go, dude, this is not college football anymore. The Raiders have the worst offensive line of all time.
They're bad.
Horrible.
It's on.
Do you know he has the stat? Here it is. Someone shared this. This is a great stat in our one of the other fantasy football leagues. It is. Here it is. I'll get it to you. was hilarious. It is, let me find it. It's not too far down here. Ashton Genty, 144 total rush yards, 145 rush yards after contact.
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
I mean, like, he's getting hit at the line. Like, every single play are 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
There's this one
the
guy.
offensive line's just horrible. I mean, it has nothing to do with Ashton Genty, but in the NFL, if your offensive line's that good, unless you're Barry Sanders, it makes zero difference.
Even if you are Barry Sanders, at that offensive line, you still might not be okay. I watched a guy break it. A guy on Instagram has these kind of clips, and he breaks down kind of the intricacies of it, and he goes, if I hear one more person call Ashton Genty a bust, I'm going to lose my mind. And he shows these clips of, like, by the time he touches the ball, he's getting hit. I mean, it's instantaneous. Yeah. It is atrocious. So they are horrific. They're on par with, like, how bad that Giants offensive line was a couple years ago when Danny Dimes just got, like, a concussion every other play.
Yep.
Okay, last one. The Houston Texans, 0-3. You mentioned C.J. Stroud. Has not looked good. Everybody talked about him year one after he went number 2 overall behind Bryce Young. Seemed to be the steal of the draft that he didn't go number 1. Oh, big mistake. Everybody was high on him. He went to the playoffs. They did go to the playoffs last year, but he was not nearly as good. Part of that was the offensive line. This year, you talked about have some injuries in the wide receiving corps, but the offensive line's improved. He does not look good. What is the panic level in Houston at this point?
It's like an 8. They'll beat Tennessee this week, but then they go Baltimore, Seattle, San Francisco, and Denver. So you're looking at like 1-3 there. So now you're 2-6. I mean, I just don't see them making the playoffs.
Yeah. It's gonna be tough.
It's gonna be real tough. They'll have to dominate the rest of the division. On paper, they really are the best team in that division. The offensive line's not good, but the defense really is pretty solid. They had every chance to beat the Bucs. Should have beat the Bucs. Lost the game. Losing to the Jags hurts. That Rams game they played, look, I mean, 14-9. I mean, I think it was 7-9 most of the game. The defense is good. The offense has just got to figure something out. It doesn't help that, Mixon was really dynamic last year and very good for them. They don't have him. The offensive line, listen, is better. It's still not good. Tank Dell's gone. They have Nico Collins. Like you said, they do have Dalton Schultz. I don't think the team's going to make the playoffs. I just don't. Starting 0-3 is
no.
tough.
It's not. The offensive line is not good. You're right. But C.J. Stroud is throwing for less than 200 yards a game.
Yeah,
and he's throwing more interceptions than touchdowns in 3 games. Like, that can't happen. That can't happen. And the one of the interceptions he threw in that Bucs game was atrocious. Like, it was horrible.
Yeah, it's horrible. I think what is going on though, offensively, as they realize that they do have a good defense, so they're trying to win games like 20-17, and they're not trying to get shootouts or whatever. They're trying to get their defense a rest, and they know their offense is not great, and it's even tougher without Mixon. So, but yeah, I think you're looking at 2-6 through 8 games.
Yeah,
and then you have Denver, Jacksonville, Tennessee, Buffalo, Indy. I mean, I think you'll see the Texans win ultimately, like
7 games.
Seven games, but I just don't think they're going to make the playoffs.
That's just too hard to come. I don't know what the odds are, but I would guess it would be less than 10% of teams make the playoffs if you start 0-3. I would guess.
For sure.
Couldn't be above 10%.
Like 6%.
Okay, let's move on. Let's just go quick preview on a couple of the NFL games. So we'll start with a quick one.
Right.
The Dallas Cowboys game, because we got to talk about the Cowboys. Packers at the Cowboys. I'll ask you this to start.
Is that?
Are you surprised?
Sunday Night Football, or what is that?
Yeah, Sunday Night Football. Okay. Are you surprised, given how bad Dallas has been and how good Green Bay's defense has looked, that this line is short of 7? 6.5. Is that surprising?
Not really. It's just the NFL, man. It's just so hard to go over, like to have something at 7.5, right? It's typically, I get that Dallas is bad. It's just Dallas is at home, primetime game. I still think you're going to see Dallas score points here. Funny enough, I think this is a game that if I had to pick, gun to my head, and so you had to take a side, I would obviously, weirdly enough, I would take Dallas to cover the 6.5.
Would you really?
I think they're going to lose the game. For sure.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, you know how the NFL is, man? If you're up 13 points, you're up 10, they will let you walk in to score a touchdown.
If the Packers were 3-0, I would back the Cowboys here probably.
Agreed. That takes a big. I would agree with that. I agree with that 100%.
But I will also say to your point, Green Bay's offense hadn't looked good by any means. Their defense has been great, right? Held the Lions to 13, held the Commanders to 18, held the Browns to 13, and really the touchdown the Browns scored was Jordan Love's interception that got returned to the 5-yard line. The Browns really, and then a blocked field goal. The Browns really scored 3 points the entire game offensively, right? So the defense has been phenomenal. It's just the offense that has been a problem, and Jordan Love has been a problem. But I do think the Packers get this done. I don't think it's particularly close. I just think
smoke them.
You've
watched way more Cowboys than me.
Well, so. look, you're right. Your whole logic is absolutely right. Like, it's the NFL, and in the NFL, like 7 is a lot of points. I mean, we saw on Thursday night last week, I thought it was crazy that the Dolphins were catching 11.5 in a divisional game. And it was like an overreaction to the fact they got killed week 1, but it's still an NFL football team who won 11 games a couple years ago, and it's a very similar roster, divisional opponent. And I'm like, and it's not like Buffalo that early in the year is impossible to play in. I mean, you're talking like, look at the Bills this week against the Saints. You're talking about the best power rated team and the worst power rated team, and the line is what, 15.5 in Buffalo. So it's like, 11.5 for that is a lot. So 7 is a lot of points. I just think from what I've seen from Dallas's defense and looking at that coaching staff and how that team is operating and how I just think it's an absolute dumpster fire right now. And I feel like an implosion is impending. And I think Dak is actually kind of holding it together a little bit right now, because if you take Dak off that team, I don't even know if they win 2 games this year. Especially with CeeDee Lamb out now, I actually think this number should be above 7.
I keep forgetting CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, like if CeeDee Lamb played, I could see it being 6.5, maybe 7. I make this 7.5.
I would just use this as a teaser.
That's what I did, and that's my teaser.
I don't think the Packers lose any stretch.
Packers to Lions as my teaser of the week. So, okay, get them both under a field goal. Go 6.5 points if you have to. All right, let's go to another game here. And we'll preview some better matchups. By the way, we're recording this about 30 minutes before the start of the Thursday night football game. So we have our little Cardinal and Seahawk guy there for our game tonight.
Russell. Look at Russell.
Look at Russell. By the way, is Russell...
Little slumdog millionaire up there.
Whoa. Is Russell...
that's a great movie, is it not? Please.
Well, why did you say that, though?
Well, because he's half Indian. And he's a millionaire.
Is he I'm
not saying he's a slumdog. Great movie.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
How many Super Bowls he won? One.
And did not win the MVP. Did not win a Super Bowl MVP. That's like saying. I think. Oh, man. That's like saying Trent Dilfer is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but he was. Yeah, Russell was better than Trent Dilfer.
In his career, he is that game. He wasn't.
Yeah, I would say that he sucks. They didn't hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch. He'd for sure be in with 2 Super Bowls. I'm going to say ultimately he gets in. I don't think he deserves to get in. I just think Hall of Fames in general are getting easier and easier to get in.
I'm going to say he doesn't get in. All right. Noon kickoff. This might be the best game of the week. 2 3-0 teams. Philadelphia Eagles traveling to Tampa, Florida to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Eagles are laying 3.5. Total in the game, 43.5. You mentioned Baker Mayfield.
The Eagles are on the road and they're favored by 3.5.
Laying 3.5. Yep, that's a lot of respect.
I'm not gonna break it down entirely. The Bucs just play close games no matter what they're doing. The Eagles don't look good. Besides the Bucs plus 3.5, that's crazy. I'm sure you'll tell me if you look, there's sharp money on the Eagles. It doesn't matter.
I don't think so. I'd be shocked.
The Bucs that game will be decided by a field goal. Whoever wins, it'll be close.
The only thing I will say, and this isn't, I don't think this matters, but it does say on here, I don't think this is influencing the line.
Right.
Mayfield is limited on Thursday with a right bicep injury. So he is going to play, but throwing arm, maybe that's factoring in. I don't think so. But I agree. That's crazy they're catching a hook here at home.
He's playing.
I guess you just think, well, the Bucs probably should have lost to the Texans. But you also look at the Eagles should have lost to the Rams and the Cowboys. So these are 2 pretty even teams right now where we're at.
It's all about winning, man. Doesn't matter how it looks. It's just about winning. I think... I don't know who wins it, but I'd be shocked if anybody won this game by more than 1 score.
Yeah.
Even if the Bucs are down 10, you still get the ball with a chance to score a free touchdown. I think they'll take care of business.
All right, we'll go one more breakdown here. We're going to go to probably the game that everybody thought would have been the game of the week here.
Right.
And instead, it is still a big game, but it's for different reasons. They're both 1-2. We have the Ravens traveling to Kansas City, to Arrowhead Stadium to take on the Chiefs. And Baltimore is laying 2.5 on the road.
Wow, what a big game. Yeah.
Big game. And honestly, I think what you said earlier, you would agree with this. It's a much bigger game, in my opinion, for the Chiefs than it is for the Ravens.
Right.
The Ravens have, the Bengals sitting at 2-1, and Burrow out for 10 weeks. They could lose this game and still win the division. If the Chiefs go 1-4 and the Chargers win this week and go 4-0, then all of a sudden you're sitting there. You're 4 games. And by the way, the Chargers are at the Giants, who are starting a rookie quarterback in Jackson Dart for the first time in his career. So very good chance the Chargers go 4-0 here. You go 1-3 if you're the Kansas City Chiefs. Going to be really, really tough to climb out of that hole and win the division, especially already losing 1 game head-to-head to the Chargers. All of a sudden, now you have to beat them the second time. You're going to have to gain 2 more games on them just to get in a tiebreaker. To me, this game is much, much bigger for the Chiefs. They're at home. This is tough, but I think this is a year that the Ravens things don't go their way. And I have a feeling, I think that's the case for both these teams. I don't think either of these teams are going to win a Super Bowl this year or even be in an AFC championship game. But I'm actually going to take the Chiefs here. I'm going to take the Chiefs. Again, betting perspective, I'm staying away from this game. It's under a field goal. You're basically picking the winner here.
I like it as another teaser leg. I'd take
get the Chiefs 8.5.
Yeah,
Get the Chiefs 8.5.
That's an easy one for the people at home. I'd go
Yeah.
Green Bay and I'd go Chiefs plus 8.5.
There you go.
It seems like I don't gamble anymore, but it seems like you don't overthink that, and I think that seems pretty simple. I think the Chiefs win this game at home. I don't. That's what you said? I assume I was looking at some other NFL stuff, but I think the Chiefs win. I'm with you. I think it means far, far more to them in that division. They have to win this game. The Ravens could go 1-3. They're still, if the Ravens can win 10 games, they're going to win that division.
Yeah.
So I think that the Chiefs do find a way to win this at home. That's my guess.
Give me one team on this slate, and I can read them off to you if you need me to. One underdog of 3.5 points or more. So over a field goal, most likely to pull an upset this week. We're going to probably have multiple, but
let's see.
Give me one underdog that has to be over a field goal, most likely to pull an upset this week. On the
more than a field goal.
More than a field goal. I like.
Oh my God, dude, the Bills are going to beat the Saints by 150 points.
They're 15.5 point favorites.
I know the NFL. I get it. Like that's a lot of points in the NFL. The Saints are that bad. I think. It just depends if they come out sleepwalking. Over 3.5 point.
If you can find somebody besides the Bucs, since we already said the Bucs.
We already said the Bucs.
I know you think the Bucs probably.
I will take the.
It's actually kind of tough now. I'm looking at this. You know what? I'm going to take the Panthers. The Panthers are a 5.5 point dog.
That's what I was going to say.
At the Patriots. I mean, Patriots. Who are the Patriots to be laying 5.5 here?
Yeah, you go Panthers.
I think the Panthers are playing a little better football the last couple weeks.
That's a 50-50 game.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 game. I actually think that's worth just a money line bet straight up anyway.
Yeah.
I mean that feels like more like it should be 3.
Agreed.
All right. Quick college football segment. Just going to do this speedy, and then we'll go to MLB and Ryder Cup. I'll let you dive into those. You're going to tell me if this is an overreaction or not here. Okay? Start with number 1. After Indiana's rout of Illinois last week, Fernando Mendoza has become the favorite in the Heisman voting race, or in the Heisman betting odds.
Well, I think it's somewhat an overreaction. However, there's just nobody else that's, taking a step forward to become the Heisman. Like you touched on earlier in the show, the backup quarterback at the start of the year at Ole Miss could end up winning the Heisman, right? There's just nobody that's anywhere close. And he's been putting up really good numbers. So
he's got 14 touchdowns and no picks through 4 games.
Yeah.
But they played Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, Indiana State, and then Illinois. But Illinois threw for 267, 21-23, and 5 touchdowns, no picks? Yeah, QBR of 93. So he's been phenomenal, but I do agree. There's just
it's somewhat of an overreaction, but like I said, there's just nobody else stepping forward. So why not?
Yeah.
And you think Indiana, I mean, They might lose a couple games, right? I mean, so it's one of those deals.
They're going to probably lose twice, I think.
That's what I would say.
At Oregon, at Penn State. Other than that, it's going to be tough for them to lose a game.
And that's this week, right? Penn State, Indiana?
Penn State, Oregon's this week.
Oregon, that's right.
Penn State, Oregon this week. Indiana's at Iowa this week.
Okay.
Okay, number two. Florida State is the favorite in the ACC and the favorite to represent the ACC in the college football playoff. Would that be an overreact? Is that an overreaction?
Yeah, because Miami looks pretty good still.
Yeah.
I think ultimately Miami, I really do think, I'm not a huge Carson Beck fan, but I will say Miami to me looks really good up front. That's why I like Miami. It's not really their skill players, which they obviously have. It's just the way they look up front. They're blowing Notre Dame off the ball. That's why I like Miami. It has nothing really to do, nothing against Florida State. Like I said, they look great against Alabama. I just think that until Miami's knocked off by someone, they're the favorite. But ultimately, I think both of them get in the college football playoff. I think Florida State and Miami get in.
And by the way, we're going to find out a lot next week, because on the 4th of October, which is a week from this Saturday, Miami, who is now number 2, by the way, in the country, goes to number 8 Florida State.
Nice.
They're at Florida State.
That'll be a fun game.
So that'll be a huge matchup. That's probably where game day will be, I'm sure.
For sure. They haven't been to Florida State in a while. So
no, they haven't. But
at least a year anyway.
But it is I agree, and it is interesting though when you look at this. Virginia comes into this game 3-1. Their lone losses to NC State. And I guess they're factoring in the look-ahead spot because they play tomorrow night, and Virginia is catching less than a touchdown. It's a 6.5 point. That's 6.5 points is the number in that game. So interesting that number is that short. All right, 2 more. Texas Tech is the favorite to win the Big 12. Overreaction or no?
No, because there's no other really good teams in the Big 12. So I don't think it's an overreaction at all in the sense that they already have the head-to-head win against Utah. I mean, I think ultimately you figure they're going to be in that Big 12 championship game, right?
More than likely.
Whether you think they're better than Iowa State or whatever or
I think Arizona State's better.
Man, I don't know. Arizona State doesn't look great either.
They play this week, don't they? Or is it no? Is that not this week?
Tech's on a bye this week. Could be next week.
No, I'm sorry. Arizona State plays TCU this week.
Correct. I mean, I just think that ultimately after that Utah win, Texas Tech gets to the Big 12 championship. So I think that's why the odds are probably that way. I do think Arizona State doesn't look great, but Tech. I give them credit, dude. They went on. Do I think the Utah team is great? No, but they went on the road. Sure, they got lucky to play in that 11 o'clock time slot.
They did.
But I mean, it's the Big 12. We're not talking about the SEC here.
No, but I will say also that their quarterback got hurt, and the game was basically a one-score game. And the backup
quarterback looks far better than him.
Yeah. Again, and that coming in cold off the bench, we'll see. I don't think he's going to keep the job.
No. I think Morton's going to keep the job. I'm just saying, like, in that game in particular,
no, he did.
The kid was throwing absolute
darts. That's what I'm saying. It was almost
like,
fortunate that it happened because it was I believe they tied it, and then that kid came in and threw like 2 touchdowns.
They were down 3, I think.
Yeah, they're down 3.
It was like 14 or whatever. Yeah. No, I agree. But I do think ultimately, yes, I think it's their favorites because they have the head-to-head against Utah. Are they better than Arizona State? I don't know. I actually do think, and I'm not even being a homer saying this, I actually think they're better. I just don't think that Arizona State team is very good. I don't think any teams in the Big 12 are very good.
Nobody in the Big 12 is good. I trust Sam Leavitt and Kenny Dillingham, like I said last week against Baylor. I trust them more than I trust Joey McGuire over there and Baron Morton.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, the next Tech's on a bye. Then they go to Houston, who is 3-0, although they're not that great. Home against Kansas, who I think is a dark horse that is still alive in the Big 12. And then at Arizona State. Those next 3 weeks following this week, if they go through that 3-0, then they're going for sure to the Big 12 championship game, and probably just because of historically, like, should they get in if they go 11-1 like SMU did and lose in the championship game, they'll get in.
Yeah.
But if they lose 2 games, they'll have to win the Big 12 championship game to get in. So the next stretch, the rest of their games, like at Kansas State, looked like a tough game early on. Now it doesn't.
I think the second best. I still think Kansas State still has talent. I don't know what the hell their deal is. I think Avery Johnson's been playing horrible. I think Kansas
I
and
love
Texas
Kansas.
Tech are the two best teams in the Big 12.
love Kansas.
And Kansas looks pretty damn good. So I think those are the two best teams. I think ultimately you see those two teams play each other in the Big 12 championship. I think Kansas can't Texas Tech.
I actually think if you're looking at it right now, I believe you can get 13-1 on Kansas to win the Big 12 now. And I think that's a great bet.
That's fucking absurd.
It's crazy if you watch them play.
They should be like 4-1.
They're the sixth favorite. They're still behind Utah, Iowa State,
lose a
TCU.
Big 12 game?
No, they lost to Missouri. So they have no Big 12 losses. So it doesn't make any sense. And they're 13-1 right now. Yeah,
you people at home, go bet that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
They're painted 12-1 or 13-1 across the board.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Utah already has a loss in the Big 12. So does Arizona State, right? Oh, no, Arizona State lost to Mississippi State. But
where does Kansas play Utah? Do they play?
Let's see real quick. Where does Kansas play Utah? I'll tell you. I'll read you out Kansas' remaining schedule. They go home against Cincinnati this week. That's a win. At Central Florida, that's a win. At Tech is a huge game. Home versus Kansas State, versus Oklahoma State. At Arizona, at Iowa State. Last game of the year is versus Utah.
At home, Kansas will go to the Big 12 championship.
I think so too. Actually, I think it's between Tech, Arizona State, and Kansas.
I do think Tech, because they'll probably play that at prime time late in Lubbock. I do think Tech ultimately will probably win that game at home against them. It's like I said, a toss-up. I do think Kansas will go to the Big 12 championship. Though.
I think it'll be.
I think they lose one. I think they lose one, maybe two. They'll end up with a tiebreaker. I think they get in. But the fact that they're 11 or 12-1 is stupid.
Oh, it's crazy.
It should be like 5.
Yeah, it should be 5.
Anybody that's watched Kansas play football this year, beat the. Listen, Fresno State's not great. Beat the shit out of them. Should have beaten Missouri. They blew the game. Kansas.
They'd be a top 15 team in the country if they beat Missouri right now.
Right.
But I think it's some form of Kansas, Arizona State, Tech. Those three, two of those three get in.
Two of them will go. Yeah.
I think that's how it goes. I'm not like super high on Arizona State. I just like Kenny Dillingham, and I think that they have a better quarterback than anybody in the Big 12. Maybe. Well, I think Kansas and them.
I think Kansas is the best quarterback.
Jalen Daniels and then Sam Levis
is for sure.
Daniels is the best quarterback. Okay, last one. Dabo Swinney is done as a collegiate football coach and should retire.
First of all,
after starting 1-3, losing outright as a 17-point favorite to Syracuse.
Before you get in that, Voodoo Ranger, pour one out for your homeboy. Mike Gundy, my God.
I forgot.
End of an era.
Wow. How did that not make bigger news? I saw it on Instagram 2 days later.
What a hell of a football coach. I'm a man. I'm 40. Come at me. I mean, there's nobody like Gundy. From 2010 to 20, I mean, at Oklahoma State, did the best of the program than anybody in the country. I mean, it's like the teams are always winning the Big 12 in the conversation. I think I think he, obviously Dabo won 2 natties, so he can do whatever, but it's kind of the exact same thing that happened to Arizona State.
Yeah.
T. Boone Pickens died. His kids took the money elsewhere. They're not getting any money. And, in the press conference, he's like, oh, you lost 70, whatever to Oregon. He's like, well, that's a $30 million roster. We're a $4 million roster. Like, that's just what, he was checked out. Do I think that he deserved to finish the season? Yes. I think Oklahoma, and maybe he didn't want to. Maybe he's like, you know what, guys, I'm done. But the fact of the matter is, Oklahoma State should have done him the courtesy. He's a fantastic football coach. I mean, I think he's a top 10 college football coach in the last 20 years.
He's
Mike
awesome.
Gundy's awesome. So, should have done him.
Lost the starting quarterback week 1, by the way.
Correct. So, I mean, whatever. The season's over. I mean, do him a courtesy of staying in there. Have a good send-off for him at the end. He did fantastic work for university. He's a great football coach.
Nobody's coming in there and winning right now. So
right. I would love to see him do. I'm a man. I'm 40. Was I think 18 years ago. So he's pushing 60.
He'll do media.
I don't think he's going to coach anymore. I think he'll do media. Yeah. He likes drinking too much. Him and Holgerson like boozing.
I mean, they said he had 2 or 3 beers, and got in the car.
Shit, I've done that.
I said, how many times have I done that?
Thousands.
1,000?
Thousands.
Yeah. I'm not saying what he did was right, but
yeah. God bless Mike Gundy, but yeah. That's the end of that one. Dabo, go back to your question.
My
Dabo.
question, is this an overreaction? Dabo Swinney's done as a collegiate football coach after starting the season 1-3 and losing outright as a 17-point favorite to Syracuse.
I think what you're going to see happen is Dabo keep his job, but there's going to be like, they're going to have a czar of recruiting and a GM, and like, he's going to be the football coach and everything else is going to be handled. Sure, at the end, he'll fly in and kiss babies and meet mamas and whatever. But yeah, he's going to have to hit the transfer portal. I think that's going to be the conversation at the end of the season. Like, hey, we tried to do what you wanted to do for 2 to 3 years. Clearly, it hasn't worked. So to keep your job, this is what we're going to do. And if you don't want to do that, the issue Clemson has is they owe him like $70 million.
Yeah, but then the other issue is Dabo with the current contract. If they don't want to fire him, is he like, I'm not like, if y'all want to do that, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm running my program my way. He's always been that way.
Correct. So that's the issue. So they could just be fucked. I don't know if they are. I don't know what's going to happen with that. But I also think that Dabo, he's a competitor and wants to get back to winning.
Sure.
I do actually think he's the type of person to say, hey, I hate, in a press conference, I hate this style of college football. Clearly, after the last 3 years, I've tried to do it my way. It's not working.
No.
Okay, I can coach football, but it's not working. So we're going to go out. We're going to hit the transfer portal. I have guys that are responsible for that. I'm coaching the football team, yada, 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 and they'll be okay.
Yeah, if he does that, they'll be fine.
But who knows? Maybe he just wants to get fired, collect the money, and say, I did it my way. I rode off into the sunset, and he does media $70 million richer, whatever they owe him. So
with 2 national championships and 8 ACC
correct.
titles.
I mean, you can't, listen, Dabo Swinney's a hell of a football coach. You say whatever you want about him. He's a goober, yada, yada. Good football coach.
Yep.
He's just never was going to be in. That's why you saw Saban retire. It's like, I'm not doing it.
And he was right.
And Dabo would still own
and the difference is Saban probably would have been successful in that other era, just not as dominant. He would have been okay.
Right.
Dabo refuses to adapt. All right, moving on. Last 2 things and we're done. Let's go to the MLB playoffs, right? We're 5 games or 6 games away from the MLB playoffs. We're approaching October. Best time of the year for MLB. We don't talk a lot of baseball on the show, but I'm going to give you the floor here.
We should.
Well, I don't know if we should.
It's God's game.
I don't know if we should, but we will. I'm going to give you the floor here to talk some MLB, break down what for the fans of the show, what's going on, because I know a lot of people don't watch MLB all year, myself included, unless you bet on it.
Yeah,
and then you get to the playoffs and people want to watch.
Yeah, to be fair, look, I love baseball. I'm a big-time baseball fan. Even I, especially with the Astros only being on, like, you can only catch them on DirecTV, which is a clusterfuck, MLB TV. You can watch every other game but the Astros and Rangers, whatever. I mean, the Astros were tied going into the series with the Mariners on Friday. They got swept. The division's over. The Astros have lost. They did lose, I believe, 6 in a row. They won today. Currently, they sit 1 game behind the Tigers in the wild card, which is an even crazier story because the Tigers led the AL Central by 15 and a half games and are now a game behind the Indians. And this has been in the last 2 months, which if anybody at home knows baseball, that doesn't happen. Like
that's crazy.
The Tigers had the better roster, better pitching staff, and they had a 99.5% chance to win the division. We have about 4 games left, like you noted. The Yankees and the Blue Jays are fighting for the division and the AL East, obviously. It looks like the Red Sox are going to get in as well as a wild card. So if we could get Yankees-Red Sox in the playoffs, that's always a treat. Everybody would love that. Brewers ended up winning the NL Central. The Cubs got in as wild card. Padres played very well. The last playoff spot in the NL is coming down to the Mets, Reds, and Diamondbacks. That's going to come down to the wire. But I can't remember a baseball season this exciting down the stretch.
Yeah.
And even me, and I'd love to tell you I've kept up with all of it. I haven't as much as I normally do, especially now that I'm not gambling. I do love baseball. It's just a simple fact that I can't watch the Astros games on YouTube TV. They're not on there, right? So
the Tigers could still win their division, correct?
Correct. Yeah, they're currently
one game in the loss column back at Cleveland,
and they're currently beating Cleveland 4-1 right now.
Okay,
so it looks like it'll be tied going tomorrow. That's not good news for the Astros.
Lost 8 in a row.
Yeah, not good news for the Astros because they're a game behind Detroit, or half game. It'll be
and
a
they
game
need. That's the only team that they can catch. Is that correct?
Well, they technically catch the Red Sox, but
there's
they're
only
2.5
3 games.
behind. Yeah, so no.
4
I
games
mean,
left.
they would need the Red Sox to lose all 3.
What do we got? 162 games.
That's right.
Yeah,
162. So we'll see. There's nothing like Major League Baseball playoffs. I love.
Well, there is. There's a lot of better things in it.
I love the.
There's the NCAA tournament. There's the NFL playoffs. There's college football playoff. Like you name it, it's better than MLB. But yeah, go ahead.
No, it's not. Major League Baseball playoffs. As far as the major four sports go, and this is the honest to God truth, it's Major League Baseball 1.
Oh, this is blasphemy.
NHL 2, NFL 3, and NBA 4. And actually, I saw somebody post that today, and I was like, that's 100% true.
The NFL is number 1.
No, because, well, here's the thing. The NFL, sure, is king, and I love the NFL the most, correct? But it's just you have one game, which is fantastic. But when you have best of 7 playoff series all the way through October, I mean, it's just a little bit... That's why the baseball playoffs are so great, because you play 162 games and everybody's like, oh, this matters. It's cold outside. Major League Baseball playoffs are fantastic.
Yeah, they're fun to watch.
I go Major League Baseball 1, NHL 2, NFL 3. And like I said, the only reason if the NFL played best of 7, then of course the NFL would be 1. They play one game.
No, that's why it's so good though. You only get one game, so you tune in.
I would agree. I mean, I'd love them to play best 2 out of 3.
Yeah, it would be nice. I'd watch anything for more football.
Extend the season, maybe 12-week season, best 2 out of 3.
Or even just the Super Bowl, right? Best 2 out of 3. Super Bowl Sundays. We'll just do best 2 out of 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
All right, one more thing. We got the Ryder Cup.
Yep.
Ryder Cup.
The big one.
Starting what, tomorrow?
Tomorrow, yep.
Go, floor is yours for the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, so people at home, and as you know, no longer a gambler here, I love the U.S. to win the Ryder Cup. I think they're minus 140 to win. And they have to win outright, right? Because if they tie, Europe retains a cup. That's how that works. Bethpage Black, you have a bunch of crazy New Yorkers and, everybody from the Northeast screaming at the European team. It's so hard to win a Ryder Cup on the road. No one's done it. And look that up. When's the last time someone won an away Ryder Cup? Look that up over there in your computer. You type so fast. Ex-teacher. You type very, very fast. Look at
I do. I type like 100 words per minute.
My God. I'm like trying to text
2012.
you back.
Europe defeated the United States, the Miracle in Medina, after being down 10-6.
Correct. So they
in
came
Illinois.
Back and won it. So that was 12 years ago. It's very, very hard. And Medina is nowhere close to Bethpage Black with the crazy fans. The Europeans have already said it. I think on paper, Europe has a slightly better team. They have better team chemistry. If they come on the road and beat us at Bethpage Black, then they were just the better side, right?
Yeah.
You tip your cap to them. I think Team USA ultimately wins this Ryder Cup by 2 or 3 points. I think it's relatively close. I don't think it's a blowout. I think they win it by 2 or 3 points. And I think when they play in 2 years in Europe will win again. I just think you're going to see they're just very, very good teams, and home course advantage, if you will, is a big, big part of it. So I think, and luckily we have Scotty Scheffler, the best golfer in the world. Which also helps.
That helps.
He'll be in pretty much every group. So.
All right, well, that wraps up the show for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it, us breaking down the NFL, previewing some of the games. Let us know in the comment section below if you like the new format of the show, if you like the old format. Any comments help us grow the channel. If you enjoyed watching our content. And
Bailey's blaming not being here on traffic. He just texted me. Traffic has been horrible,
well,
boys.
That's a lot of traffic.
But he loved my Voodoo Ranger picture.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. But thanks to Bailey for not showing up. Yeah. Thanks for nothing. And making me having to edit this whole thing by myself. But regardless, we hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next week. Make sure to check out the College Football Show as well.